Inner peace is something that a lot of us seek and talk about, and often seems elusive. It's hard for anybody under any circumstances of chaos and the way that difficult things come at us in life to achieve an ability to walk peacefully and unruffled throughout life. When you're working with parties in conflict, of course, they are already dealing with negative energy, and you hear about, this is a toxic environment, or the whole relationship has been polluted, and so it comes with being a mediator that you're placing yourself in the midst of that, and so to do that, you really do have to have a real understanding, I think, about why you're doing this work. Maybe it's too much to suggest that it's a calling, or perhaps you might say it's a passion, or a very deliberately chosen career to serve humanity. And to do that, just as a carpenter would equip himself or herself with training and tools and ways of being able to be a very good craftsperson, the mediator has to do that as well, and that's a certain amount of self-care. So on the work site, people often say safety first, and I think that applies in a way within the field of conflict resolution. Safety for the parties, which is another issue in terms of a task that the mediator has to attend to, but safety for oneself, and I think being naturally reflective, so that you pause to think about what you're doing, how you're executing your task as a mediator, meditation, talking and debriefing, or even decompressing after a very intensive session. Maybe you have a trusted confidant, maybe you maintain a journal, some way to divest yourself of some of the toxicity that you're taking on. You can actually have quite a bit of vicarious trauma as that third party who moves into a very lethal or hostile, negative energy setting. And there are things that you can do, and there are certainly things that I do. I certainly walk vigorously, perhaps right in the, at lunch if we're taking a break in the mediation, get out there and walk that off and try to, regain composure. In the evening, I might spend some time meditating, doing deep breathing exercises. I think having another interest in life, and I would recommend an interest that has something to do with the body, like where you're working with your hands, or you're gardening, or you're somehow physically involved, because there's something about the rhythmic use of your body and the discharging of negative energy that loads in the body. A lot of mediation work does take analysis and real cerebral skills, if you will, but a lot of it takes place below the head. You're there, and there's a lot of violence and punching going on, if not literally, I mean metaphorically, as the parties are struggling with each other, and you can find that a lot of that, you become the lightning rod in a way for some of that hostility that the parties are not able to or won't direct to each other, and it comes to you as that third party. And so there's a lot of need to be aware of negative energy and how you are going to maintain your own peace and be centered and able to be helpful.